First, I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution Matte and Fix Blur Primer. I'm just applying it on my T-zone where I tend to get a little oily and want extra blurring effect. Now for my base, I'm using the Inside Skin tint in the shade Latte Please. This is one of my favorite products because it's super lightweight, blends effortlessly and gives the prettiest glowy finish. Since I prefer my makeup to look fresh and skin-like, this works perfectly. I'm blending it out with a foundation brush for a seamless finish. Adding a little extra product and look how skin-like it's looking. I really love this product. Now for the concealer, I'm using the Swiss Beauty concealer palette. I actually prefer palettes over single concealer because I can mix different shades and get a much closer match to my skin tone, and this trick will be so helpful for makeup beginners. Now I'm focusing it under my eyes and over my eyelids, then blending it out with a mini sponge to brighten and even out that area. My back was literally starting to hurt while blending all of that concealer, so now it's time to set everything with some translucent powder. Since we used a cream concealer, I like to do a very little bit of baking under my eyes just to prevent creasing and make everything last longer. And just dusting off the excess powder, and whatever is left on the brush goes right onto my T-zone because that's where I tend to get a little oily. Now for the eyes, I'm using the Hilary Rhoda Trendsetter eyeshadow palette, mixing these two soft matte shades and blending across the lids for a little sparkle. I'm tapping this pearly shimmer onto the center of the lids. Now to balance the look, I'm taking the same soft pink matte shade along my lower lash line. Next, I'm using this light shade just to highlight my aegusal area. And now applying the pink shimmer from the inner corner and gently extending it upward with this flat brush. To finish everything in eyeshadow, I'm taking a deep brown shade and softly smoking out the outer lower lash line for a little extra depth and definition. Blush time. Now for the blush, I'm using the Inside Lip and Cheek tint in the shade Strawberry Summer, and this blush is so pretty that I had to stop and admire it for a second. Like, look at the shade, it is absolutely gorgeous. And after blending it with my fingers onto my cheeks, chin and nose, I'm just wiping the leftover tint onto a cotton pad. For mascara, I'm using lengthening side of the Mars Double Trouble mascara. I used to love this before, but now it's not impressing me much. But ever since I started using a lash curler, it's been working so much better. So you will definitely be seeing me use that combo in future videos. Next, I'm using the same dark brown shade from the eyeshadow palette for contouring, just applying it with a flat brush and blending with my fingers. And honestly, nose contour is super personal, so just experiment what suits your face best because I am definitely not a contour expert yet and I'm still figuring it out myself. So we are learning together. Then I'm taking the same shade on my brows to fill in the gaps. Since this makeup is super soft and slightly Korean coated, brown looked way better than black. Now I'm adding some individual manga lashes. I bought it from Amazon and I'm applying it with clear lash glue, one in the center, one at the outer corner of each eye. I have applied mascara before, but let's be real, mascara didn't do anything. But these lashes literally brought my eyes to life. Then applying inside black eyeliner and just doing a super thin line to fill the gaps left by lashes. Honestly मुझे liner लगाना बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं है, so I am keeping it as much minimal as possible. And if you're wondering why I'm making weird faces here, my little brother came to see what I was doing and I was literally trying to explain everything to him. Also, after struggling with these lashes and eyeliner for so long, I was genuinely exhausted at this point. I'm just blotting away the lip balm which I have applied from the very beginning. Now it's time to move on to my favorite part, the lips. Now for this lip combo, the key is to find a nude shade that should look like this on you, almost like it's part of your skin. I know it looks weird. Then I add a pop of pink to the center of my lips and blend it out with my finger. But don't miss this part and watch closely. I'm also dabbing a bit of that pink onto the area above my lips, right under my nose. Trust me, this tiny step makes all the difference in creating these soft doll-like lips. Now adding a white kajal to my lower lash line to make my eyes appear a little bigger and brighter. Honestly, I already love how the lips look with the soft blurred effect, but if you're into glossier lips, you can add a gloss. I'm using Peri Pera Glasting Melting Balm in Peonies. To finish everything off, I'm adding some highlighter to the bridge of my nose, the inner corners, and also on the ague sal for that soft, dreamy glow. Adding this pretty rose, and the makeup is finally complete. I did add a gloss at one point, and honestly everyone at home liked it more, but after looking at it for a while I wiped it off and went back to my blurred lip combo. There is just something so soft and dreamy about it that perfectly matches the rest of the look. And yes, do let me know if you're team glossy lips or blurred lips. Also tell me what you would like to see next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.